What if the pain you've been carrying was never meant to crush you, but to awaken you? What if the silence, the loss, and the waiting were all part of a hidden design? And what if this moment is heaven's way of telling you that everything is about to make sense? Chosen one, you did not stumble upon this message by accident. Heaven orchestrated this moment. Right now, in this very second, something ancient is stirring within you, something that has been waiting for permission to finally speak its truth. If you feel that pull in your chest, that quiet, knowing that refuses to be silenced, listen closely. What I'm about to tell you will change the way you understand your pain. You have been carrying something heavy for so long that you almost forgot what it feels like to stand upright. The weight of heartbreak that shattered you into pieces so small you thought they could never be put back together. The betrayals that came from the very people you trusted most. The ones who were supposed to protect you but instead became the architects of your deepest wounds. Then there was the loneliness wrapping itself around you like a second skin. So familiar now that you nearly made peace with it. Almost convinced yourself that this isolation is simply who you are, that distance and silence are your inheritance. But there is something the enemy never wanted you to realize. Everything that tried to break you was not breaking you down. It was breaking you open. There is a universe of difference between those two realities. You were never buried, you were planted. And I know from where you're standing, the dirt feels the same. The darkness feels identical. The pressure feels just as crushing whether you are being destroyed or being prepared. But heaven sees what you cannot. Heaven sees roots where you see endings. Heaven sees germination where you see death. You have been asking God why. Why this pain? Why this isolation? Why you had to watch others receive their blessings while you sat in the wilderness counting your scars like currency no one wanted to accept. Why your prayers felt like they hit the ceiling and fell back down. Why people you loved walked away so easily as if your value was something they could simply stop believing in. Here is what you need to understand, and I need you to truly hear this because it unlocks everything. Your suffering was not random. It was not neglect. It was not proof that you were forgotten or less worthy than those who seemed untouched by hardship. Your pain was purposeful. It was precise. It was a divine chisel in the hands of a master sculptor, shaping something too important to be rushed, too powerful to be formed in public. You have been in the fire, haven't you? Not the comfortable metaphor people talk about, but the real fire. The kind that strips away everything you thought you were until you stand there, trembling, wondering if anything is left worth saving. The kind that burns through generations of pain you didn't even realize you were carrying. Trauma inherited like old furniture passed down by parents who were too broken to know they were handing you shattered pieces and calling it legacy. But fire does something miraculous. It does not only destroy, it refines. It reveals what is real and purifies what is precious. Every night you cried yourself to exhaustion. Every morning you woke up and chose to breathe, even when breathing felt like betrayal, because part of you wanted to surrender. Every single one of those moments mattered. Heaven was turning up the heat because there was gold in you that could only be revealed through pressure. Your scars are not proof of weakness. They are proof of qualification. The wounds you've hidden. The battles you fought in silence while smiling in public. The moments you barely survived that no one knows about, because you learned early that your pain made people uncomfortable. So you wrapped it carefully and presented it neatly so no one had to feel the weight of your reality. All of it has become your credibility for the calling waiting on the other side of the season. God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And that qualification process often looks like disqualification to the natural eye. It looks like failure. It looks like isolation. It looks like doors closing when you were praying for them to open. But what was really happening is separation. You are being separated from everything that would compete with intimacy, hollowed out, made spacious enough to carry the weight of what is coming. I know hope feels dangerous now. You've believed before, you've trusted before, and disappointment taught you to guard your heart. But stay with me, because what you've been calling delay was actually development. What you called rejection was protection. What you called abandonment was appointment. God did not forget you in the wilderness. He met you there. He walked with you through every valley, every dark night of the soul, every moment you wanted to quit. And yet something inside you, something stubborn and sacred, refused to let you give up. That was Him. You have been in a quiet season, haven't you? Not the peaceful kind, but the aching kind. The silence that makes you wonder if anyone remembers your name. Phones not ringing, opportunities drying up, feeling like the world moved on without you. But that quiet was not punishment. It was invitation. Your calling is too sacred for applause. Your purpose too deep for performance. What God is preparing you for cannot be built on public validation. It requires a foundation laid in the secret place, where no one is watching, where there is no audience to impress only you and heaven in conversation. And in that silence, something shifted. You began to hear differently, see differently, feel differently. Old desires lost their grip. Opinions lost their power. Approval lost its shine. You are being rewired, recalibrated, reconstructed from the inside out. There is a restlessness in you now, isn't there? A knowing that the old version of your life is dying and something new is trying to be born. Transition is messy. It feels like everything is falling apart when it is actually falling into place. The people who left made room. The doors that closed redirected you. The prayers that seemed unanswered were being answered in ways you could not yet see. You were protected even when you felt abandoned, guided when you felt lost, held when you felt like you were falling. Now you are standing at the threshold of something so significant that you can sense it, even if you can't fully name it yet. You will walk into it, and when you do, everything you survived will finally make sense. Your pain was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to disqualify you from mediocrity. You cannot go back to playing small after surviving what you survived. You cannot shrink to fit spaces that cannot hold who you are becoming. You have been upgraded in the spirit before it manifests in the natural. That is why everything feels different now. Your words carry weight. Your prayers move things. When you speak, heaven responds. That is authority earned through suffering you once thought disqualified you. You are living proof of grace. Not the polished kind, but the raw, transforming kind that rebuilds people stronger at the broken places. Your life is evidence. Your healing is a testimony someone else is waiting to see. And this is where the pace is about to change. You have been moving in slow motion for so long, but divine acceleration is near. And this brings us to the next part. What happens when preparation gives way to movement, and why what comes next will require clarity, courage, and alignment. And now, as everything begins to accelerate, this is where preparation turns into movement, and waiting gives way to fulfillment. What once seemed slow is about to move quickly. Things that normally take years will unfold in months. Doors that were bolted shut will swing open so effortlessly that you may wonder why you ever had to push so hard. Relationships aligned with your purpose will appear almost out of nowhere, and you will recognize them immediately because they will feel like home in a way nothing has felt like home in a very long time. Provision is coming that does not make logical sense. Opportunities will surface that you never applied for. Favor will locate you in unexpected places, through unexpected people. And it will happen so rapidly that you will barely finish processing one breakthrough before another arrives. This is the overflow season. This is the suddenly season. This is the promise that comes after you have suffered for a while, finally taking form. But hear this clearly. With acceleration comes responsibility. You are not being blessed simply for comfort. You are being resourced so you can become a resource. Everything you are about to receive, every door that opens, every opportunity that manifests is not just for you. It is meant to flow through you. You are a conduit, not a container. Your healing is meant to bring healing to others. Your breakthrough is meant to create openings in walls others have been pressing against for years. Your testimony is meant to give voice to those silenced by shame and fear. This is why the preparation had to be so intense. This is why the isolation had to be so complete. This is why the fire had to burn so hot. What you carry is too important to be contaminated by ego, too powerful to be diluted by selfish ambition, too sacred to be used for personal gain. You were entrusted with the ability to recognize pain in others because you have known pain intimately. You are given the capacity to hold space for brokenness because you are broken and still chose to believe that broken can become beautiful. You will walk into rooms and feel the atmosphere shift, not because of what you say, but because of what you carry. The presence of God that met you in the wilderness now emanates from you like a fragrance. People will feel safe with you in ways they have not felt safe in years. They will share things they have never spoken aloud. They will ask you how you survived what you survived. And in those moments, clarity will come. You will understand exactly why you had to endure everything you did. They need to know that survival is possible, that healing is real, that God does not waste pain, He repurposes it, that beauty truly can rise from ashes when you are willing to stand in the fire long enough to let the old version of you burn away. But there is a warning you must carry with you. Stay humble, stay soft, stay grateful. The same anointing that draws the hungry will attract the opportunistic. The same favor that opens divine doors will also draw those who want proximity without sacrifice. The same authority that shifts atmospheres can become dangerous if you forget its source. Remember this always. You are a steward, not an owner. Every gift was given, not earned. The only difference between you and those still in the fire is that you are a few steps further along the journey, not that you are superior. Generosity will guard you against pride. Service will protect you from selfish ambition. Gratitude will anchor you when success tries to erase the memory of the season when God was all you had, and He had to be enough. Stay rooted in the secret place. This cannot be overstated. The public victories ahead will feel intoxicating. Recognition will feel affirming. Impact will feel deeply fulfilling. But none of it can replace the intimacy you cultivated with God in hidden seasons. That relationship is your source. Guard it fiercely. Protect it ruthlessly. Let nothing and no one come between you and the presence that sustained you when everything else fell away. People will want your time, your energy, your endorsement, your attention. Opportunities will multiply faster than you can evaluate them. Requests will sound good, look good, and feel good on the surface. But discernment was forged in you through fire. You now know the difference between a divine door and a distraction. Trust that discernment. It cost you too much to ignore it now. Walk away from what does not align, even if you cannot fully explain why. Say no to what drains you, even if it impresses others. Choose peace over performance every time. Because your yes is only powerful when it is protected by your no. When you say no to what is merely good, so you can say yes to what is good, your yes becomes sacred, selective, significant. You are entering a season of divine doors, and you must understand what that means. A divine door opens only when you arrive. Not before, not for anyone else. Just for you at the exact moment with the exact resources for the exact assignment you were created to fulfill. You will know it is divine because it will not require manipulation. You will not need to force it or prove yourself. It will open naturally, almost effortlessly. When you step through, your spirit will recognize it. This is it. This is what I was being prepared for. And in that moment, your pain will reorganize itself in your memory. Not erased, but reframed. The heartbreak you thought ended your story becomes the beginning of your testimony. The betrayal that shattered trust forced you to trust God at a deeper level. The isolation that nearly broke you was the incubation period for a calling that required separation. Every closed door protected you. Every delay developed you. Every no redirected you. Every season of lack taught you that provision comes from God, not from people, position, or performance. One day you will look back on this season and weep, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. You would not repeat it, but you would never trade what it produced. Depth, intimacy, unshakable confidence that if God brought you through, that He can bring you through anything. This is your season of vindication, not the kind that proves critics wrong, though they will see, but the kind where God declares, "This one is mine." Your story is becoming your ministry. Your mess is becoming your message. Your pain is becoming your platform. Thousands are waiting for you to step fully into what you carry. They are still in their own fire, their own valley, their own wilderness. They need to know survival is possible. Healing is real. God does not forget His promises. You are that voice. This is your commissioning. No more hiding. No more shrinking. No more waiting for permission from those who cannot understand what you carry. The evidence is coming. Watch for it. Quiet confirmations. Perfectly timed encounters. Doors opening when they should not. Provision from unexpected places. When it happens, stand tall. Not in pride, but in truth. Stand tall knowing your suffering was not wasted. Your scars are no longer shame. They are proof, evidence of endurance, testimony of a God who walks His children through fire and brings them out refined. This is your moment. This is your season. Everything you endured prepared you for what is now unfolding. The acceleration has already begun, and nothing can stop what God has set in motion. You are chosen, you are called, you are commissioned, and what comes next will confirm everything you have survived.